What's up, guys? MC Stu here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I am going to review a gaming chair. So I'm pretty picky about the chair that I use. Like many of you, you probably spend lots of hours in it. I also work a lot from home in front of my computer, so I'm spending 10 plus hours a day in my chair, and so it needs to be comfortable and good. I've gone through quite a few chairs. The last one that I had picked up from Office Depot. It was a mid-grade chair, $150, $200, something like that on sale, and was pretty happy with that. It was one of the netted ones that holds you up from basically tension, and started to wear through that. And so a representative from eWin had reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to get one of the chairs from them and review it. And at first, I was a little bit skeptical. I didn't want to find myself in a position where, they give me a chair and I don't like it and have to make a video, saying that I don't like it. So I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about getting the chair, the setup, the overall build quality. They reached out to me almost 3 months ago. I've been really kind of waiting as long as possible because I wanted to spend some time actually sitting in this chair for work and for gaming. My desk, my office, it's the only one that I use for those things. So this chair over the past 3 months has had hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of use. So I feel pretty confident in giving my thoughts on it if this is something that you're in the market for. And I think I can have some good feedback for you on making a decision if this is something that you're looking at. So let's start off with the basics. It was delivered to me very quickly. It took about 5 days. Again, I didn't purchase it. They gave it to me, so I don't know if that can vary a little bit depending on how you get a hold of it. If you buy it online and then send it. But I'm assuming that shipping method is the same if you purchase it from their website. And I'll have links down in the description for the particular chair. And there's also a promo code that you can use also. So it came in about 3 to 5 days, if I'm remembering correctly. Once I got it in and opened it up, everything was packaged really well. It was in good shape. There was not a ton of extra garbage. Everything fit back in the box real easy. So cleanup was easy. But overall, the packaging that it came in was good and didn't have any concerns. Every now and then you'll get something and you're like, man, I'm glad this showed up good because this packaging is not great. And this wasn't the case with this particular product. So it was even, one of the real thick cardboard boxes. So it can stand up to that shipping if it's being sent maybe overseas or, some other long distance. So I was pretty satisfied with that. Putting it together was pretty straightforward. I think it took me about 30 minutes or so, and I have that up here on the screen in fast forward. So the assembly, I did it by myself, and it wasn't super complicated. I was impressed right off the bat with the way that things weighed, and just the weight. It felt like it was decent quality stuff. But again, I needed to sit in it for months before I could put my name on whether or not I think that is the case. And just to kind of give you some background, obviously I sit at my desk like many of you for hours and hours and hours, but I also have 3 kids that all have gaming computers. My wife also games and works from home as well. And we go through chairs, and I've had many, many gaming chairs, where you spend $100, $150, and they look really nice and they feel okay, but you can kind of tell right off the bat, they may not last. And I should go grab some pictures and include them of what some of those look like. But you guys have all been there and know what the deal is with that. But nevertheless, they get destroyed pretty quick. And so what I found even prior to having this chair is, obviously you get what you pay for. And with something like a chair that you're going to be sitting in all day, it's worth spending a little bit extra to get something that's going to have some good quality to it and is going to last you a long time. And when I say spend a little bit extra, looking around online and just kind of doing some comparisons, you can spend $500 plus, which I would never do. I'm pretty frugal with my money. I want the best bang for buck, and so obviously you can get what you pay for if you wanted to spend lots of money, but there's a lot of value that can be had in that middle range, I think. So overall, what do I think about the chair? So it's extremely comfortable. I'm really happy with that. It doesn't have a whole bunch of unneeded things. One of my kids' chair has, a flip out footrest, and you can basically lay the back of it down flat to where it's almost like a cot. It's just this useless stuff that ends up breaking or failing and making it where the chair isn't usable. This chair has just what you need, which is what's important. So I can adjust the armrest up and down. They swivel a little bit, and you can preset underneath by loosening up the screws if you want it to be really wide. It already has a very wide base. I'm not a real big person. I set mine all the way in, so it's as tight as it can be, and I still have plenty of room to kind of move around. And I like to do that. I kind of shift around in my chair quite a bit, especially when I live stream or when I'm just recording. I tend to move around quite a bit. Having some of that little bit of extra room where you don't feel like you're just kind of crunched in is really, really nice. The armrests themselves, they have at first I thought it was kind of like a hard plastic is how it looks, but it's actually more of a hard kind of rubber. So there's actually a little bit of give. So they're not like pillows, but they do have some padding underneath this really hard kind of rubberized surface, which is really nice. So it feels like it has good support. It's nice and durable, but it still has enough to where if you are getting up or leaning into it with your elbow, that it's not hurting your elbow. So it's something where you can relax on it and put some pressure on it. Like so with my wife's particular chair, and I won't name brands of what they have, but when I get up out of her chair, if I'm helping her with her computer and I'll use one of the armrests to kind of help myself up, I can feel that whole thing flexing, and I don't have that same kind of experience with the eWin chair. It's nice and sturdy and strong, and I'm not worried about bending or breaking or causing problems with it. So like I said, I've sat in it for about 3 months now, and so far the leather on it is nice and tight still. It hasn't gotten loose. I'm not finding any kind of areas that are getting any kind of extra, wear from sliding in and out of it or getting up or any of those kinds of things. If I wiped, some of the dust and stuff up off of it and cleaned it up a little bit more, it would look still basically brand new out of the package. And I know 3 months isn't that long, but with other chairs that I've had in the past and some of the chairs that my family has, you can start to see how things are just getting a little bit looser, the padding and all those kinds of things. And this chair still feels just as tight as it did when I initially got it. They did include the lower pillow for the lumbar support, and also the little neck pillow. The neck pillow, I don't lean back in my chair, so I don't really, I put everything on just so I can experience it. That, I don't ever really touch it, so I can't say that it's really doing anything special for me. So if I were to actually buy this chair, knowing what I know now, if that cost extra, I probably wouldn't buy that portion of it. But the lower lumbar support is awesome. At first I was a little skeptical. I first set it up and was sitting in it, and I'm like, I don't know, but when I go and sit in any other chair now, I'm wishing I had, my lower lumbar support pillow. For me personally, it just gives you that extra little bit, and it really makes a world of difference when you're sitting down for, hours at a time in the chair. The only complaint that I have, and this isn't so much the fault of the chair itself, but just kind of the material. So like I said earlier, the chair that I was sitting in was one of those ones that's netted and you're just kind of suspended there. And so it wasn't a leather, it was more like some sort of a nylon leather. And I find in this particular chair compared to that one, if I'm sitting down and I'm in, booty shorts or something like that, not really, but, if I'm in my boxers doing some work at night and I go to stand up, my upper, back of my thigh will kind of stick to it. So your bottom end gets a little bit warmer, and I think that's pretty normal. I find that to be the case in, if I'm sitting in dining room chairs or something like that for a while, that's the same thing that happens. It is kind of vented, but it's not quite the same as the chair that I had before, which was basically, like I said, a fully netted bottom on it. So they're kind of apples and oranges. It's not so much that there's a problem with the design of the chair. It just the material. This is a leather chair, and if you're sitting in a leather chair, it's just not going to breathe the same as what you would have in something that's a netted nylon kind of a bottom chair. So that was really my only complaint after sitting in this for the 3 months that I did. Overall, I'm happy with it. The retail price is around $250. I'll pop it up on the screen now on sale, and I've noticed that this has been on sale pretty much since they communicated with me, and I've been looking and just kind of doing some of my homework. So I'm pretty confident in saying you're always going to probably be able to get it around that particular price. This is the Calling series that I have. And for the $250, and then there's a 20% off promo code with the video. But even without that, I would definitely spend $250 on this chair, having experienced and sitting in it. And that's what's always tough, right? Is when you're looking for something that's a value, it's not super expensive, but you want something good quality. It's really hard, to really know you're taking that chance. And so that's a part of why I did agree to, make this video. I did tell them I'm going to need to sit in it for a few months before I can give any kind of feedback. And so now that that is done, I am happy to say this is something that I would spend $250 on and have, in my office, which I do now, and sit in it for hours and hours and hours every single day, basically. So again, just to recap, it's great build quality. The materials feel nice. They still feel like they're brand new after 3 months. And the support in the chair is really nice. It's quiet. It's got some good weight to it. It was pretty straightforward to put together. The instructions weren't perfect, but it wasn't rocket science. I mean, you didn't really need to have them. It came with all the tools you needed to put it together, which was just two double-sided Allen tools, basically. But yeah, overall, I think this is a great value for $250 range. Some of the other chairs that we've had, like I said, in my household have been close to that range, and they're not anywhere near close to the kind of quality that this particular chair is. So for the money, I would give it a 10 out of 10. And I'm definitely okay with putting my name on that and saying that I definitely recommend it and have been happy with it so far. They didn't tell me what to say when they sent it. I'm assuming they obviously want a good review. Luckily, the product was good, but there was no conditions, when they sent it. So, I could say whatever I want to about this, but I'm happy with it. And my old chair was almost on its way out, so I was going to be in the market. So that actually worked out well for me personally. And again, it's one of those hard things. I would have went to the internet and been trying to find the cheapest thing that wasn't garbage, right? And I really think at this price point, this hits those bullet points, being not outrageous, but being very good quality and something that's going to last me for quite a while. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Again, I just wanted to sit in this thing for a while, so I am sorry this took so long to make this review, but there's just no way that I could sit here and feel good about myself having it, a week or a couple days and talking about how great the chair is or not great the chair is. Now, of course, if I had got it and sat in it for a couple days and it just fell apart right then that would have made it real easy. But the time that I've spent sitting in this thing for the last few months, no complaints at all, other than just the breathability. But you're going to get that if you're getting a leather chair, something that is not a ventilated material, like some sort of netting material. You're just going to have that, and most of you, depending on what you're sitting now, probably already experienced that. So that's really my only complaint. I've thought long and hard over the past couple weeks getting ready to put this together. About what even a potential kind of complaint or problem is that I could have, because I had no complaints about my old chair at all, other than it just started wearing out and falling apart, but I had had it for years. So that's not really a complaint. Stuff just eventually will wear out, is the way that it is. But I really couldn't think of anything other than that noise. You guys can hear it right now, and your skin sticking to something and you stand up. But if you're wearing shorts or pants or whatever, then obviously that's not an issue. I'm not always sitting in my boxers in my computer chair. But again, that's really the only negative that I have, and it's not because of the way that they've built the chair or any of that kind of thing. It's just indicative to having a leather bottomed chair. All right, well, we'll leave it there, guys. I hope that was helpful. If you have questions about it or anything like that, leave them down in the comments. I'm really good about reading all the comments and responding one way or another. So if it's something that you're considering and you want to ask me some questions, I'm more than happy. I also have a Discord server. I mainly make content about on Star Trek Online and some other MMOs. But if you want to join that server and you have some questions, $250 is a lot of money. I mean, it's a good deal, but it's a lot of money. And so if you have questions and you have some specific things you wanted to ask, if you want to drop into the Discord server, I'll put a link down in the description. You're more than welcome to do that and ask the questions there, and I'll respond to you. You can just tag me in it, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that I can about the chair itself. So, all right, guys. I appreciate you watching. Again, I hope that was helpful. Till next time, have a good one.